Alright, so today I'm going to be reviewing the Veta 6-Bay Minor Case V-Series. And basically I'm just going to show you how it looks when it comes to you, how you put it together, and then the finished result, and I'll kind of give you my thoughts on it. So let's get into this puppy. Alright, so it looks like there's two trays in here. Box of hardware, box of fan guards, sounds like, couple of acrylic PSU holders, and what I'm guessing is going to be the SSD holder, probably some rails, and then probably the bigger rails, and that's it. Let's break these down. Alright, let's see what we're left with. And it is the main rails. So I'm going to lay that aside, and then I'm going to kind of knoll these pieces out a little bit so we can see what we got. Yep, as I suspected, we got fan guards. I'm going to set those aside as I don't have the fans right now. They're still not in. Just wanted to go ahead and get the case assembled and see what we're working with. Alright, first up we've got what looks like a power switch. A couple of rails, presumably for the hard drive maybe. Some Allen wrenches of 3 different flavors. Looks like some end caps for the rails, some motherboard standoffs, some assembling screws, some thumb screws, which are presumably for the PSU, some little bit longer screws, probably for the racks, and another bag of Allen head screws, a couple of track nuts, couple of small Allen screws, and some angle pieces to hold the whole thing together. Alright, and then we have this little box which has some smaller rail pieces in it. Alright, let's start assembling this puppy. Alright. Step 1. Geez, they weren't kidding. These instructions are pretty hard to see. Alright. Looks like we're going to be taking 07 and 07 AS6, which FS6, FS2, FS4, and that should be good for now. So let's take the FS4, FS6 goes away from it. Alright, so you want to take your FS4 and your FS6, and we're going to be putting the 6, we're going to be mating the 6 with the 4. We've got to find the right screw for that, which I think is this one. Looks to be the biggest of the lot. It's got an Allen head. Looks to be the biggest screw of the lot, and it's got an Allen head. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go on this side of the rack. I'm going to put that screw right in, and then I'm going to take FS6 and I'm just going to attach it to FS4 like so, and there's FS4 attached to FS6. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take an FS7 This is one of the long ones, labeled FS7. We let Nike in. Alright, now we got our FS7 with the 2 holes. We're going to put the FS4 in the forwardmost hole, like this, so that it all lines up. You see how that's kind of going to work? So I'm going to take another AS1 screw, I believe they're called. I'm going to drop it in there, and then I'm just going to screw it on there. Until it lines up like that. And then I'm going to take the other FS7. This is still step 1, guys. Take the other FS7 and do the same with it. You don't have to worry about cranking down on them right now, because we're going to go back and tighten everything again. Alright, and then you want to take your last, or your, well, I don't know what your last, but your other FS2, and we're gonna run it right alongside the FS4, like so. Okay, and that is step 1. Now what you want to do is you want to get 2 FS01s and an FS02, and we're going to put the FS02 and the FS01s in an H arrangement. So, like these. We're going to put the bolt through, and then make sure the bolt is on the close side. You see there's a hole up here and a hole down here. We want to make sure it's on the close side, and then you want to attach an FS02 to that FS01 using that screw. And then the same thing for the other side. We want to add an FS01 to the other side, so that we have that coveted H configuration. And we want to set that aside for now, and we want to do the same thing, do it all over again. Okay. Alright, so in step 3 what we've got to do is we've got to utilize these little corner pieces. Okay, so it looks like you get one of these corner pieces, you insert the stubbiest of the stubby, and then you put on one of these slot nuts. So you want to put these on there very lightly, because the way these work is they're gonna slide right down in that channel, like so. And so once you get it to this point, you want to lock it down. Not too hard though, because we're not done justifying or adjusting it. So just leave it kind of loose for now. And then you want to take Alright, so you pretty much want to lock that little nub down even with the bottom of this, so that when we attach this next piece, it'll go in. Alright, so once you have all the little corner pieces installed, go ahead and set it on your desk or table. Just make sure that it kind of sits level. And if it does, then you want to go around to each corner and just kind of crank it down a little bit. Okay, so for this build, I just had this little mini motherboard sitting around, and I'm going to try to build this with this board. It may and it may not work. I know the board works and is good, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to split successfully this 16 times port. But as of right now, this is the plan that I'm going with, and if for some reason this doesn't end up working for me, I'll just go on there and I'll get an actual mining board, or one that'll be better for mining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little standoffs and I'm going to just go ahead and thread those in their place. And so for this board, it looks like the standoffs are going to go there, 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 and there. That should do it. Let's see. Yep, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and secure that to the frame. Alright, so I didn't understand how this was supposed to work at first, but I think I've got it now. You got to use these little slot nuts, and you got to go ahead and preload the slot with them. That's how it looks anyway, to me. My best guess. You go ahead and preload the little slots with 3 of them. Like so. And then looks like there's one that needs to be over here too on the side. Alright, let's see. Alright, and then we want to move it up. Kind of twist that into position, and then we want to get these other ones lined up somewhat. And go ahead and get them started. And that works pretty nicely, not even gonna lie. Cool. And there's the PSU mounting positions in. Okay, so I went and salvaged an old PSU that I had laying around. I'm going to end up running dual PSUs on this miner. I've got a 1600 watt coming in, and that one is a 750. So I'm planning on putting 2 cards on this PSU and the rest of them on the other PSU. Alright, so I went ahead and got the power button that shipped with the case, and I went ahead and plugged it up. What I want to do now is just kind of temporarily kind of run it. And I'll go back and clean all that up later. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to hop back in and get these FS03s and get them put on for the second layer. Now you want to make note, we want the outside piece that this goes in to be on the outside, and we want the short end up by the motherboard. Alright, and the next step is going to be, they didn't even really label it, I guess they thought it would be self-explanatory. Get the FS08 that's remaining. And we'll run it across the top here. That makes it really nice and sturdy. Okay, let's see what these chartreuse pieces are. They look real nice. And then this looks to be the fan shrouds. So it's going to be something like that. Something like that, and the fans will go in there. But I don't have my fans in yet, so they're going to sit there for a while. And let's take FS, whatever this one is. It's hard to read the label. And let's go ahead and run it. Okay, we'll get that on, and I'll adjust the height once I get my actual video cards in. And then these decorative fan shrouds will go on the front up there. Bada bing, bada boom. Done. Alright, so it's the next day, and I got a couple things in the mail. One, I got this SSD. It's a Patriot Torch 2. It was like 30 bucks for 60 gigs. Not a bad deal. Just needed something to, you know, install stuff to. And then I got these 5 case fans, and I hope these are the right size because they look like 140s. No, they're 120s. Alright, so basically the way we're going to assemble these fans is you take your fan, you lay the chartreuse rails on the fan, and then you put a fan guard on, and use the long Allen head screws to attach it to the rail. And I'm just going to put these on light for now. Not tighten them all the way until I get it put on the frame, and then I'll go back and do the final adjustments. Alright, so we got it on there loosely, so we got a little bit of wiggle room. Now what we want to do is go ahead and consult step step 9, which appears to be We're going to use the small screws in combination with more of the slot nuts. Flip it like so that I'm no longer fighting gravity. And then we should be able to relatively easy get these little puppies going. That wasn't too bad right there. Let's try again. Alright, and let's try the other side. Alright, so here's kind of the way I have come to learn how to put these little slot nuts in for this piece. Go ahead and slide it in the slot. Take your Allen wrench, push it into place. And this is so much easier when it's laying on its front like this. And then just have fun. Alright, now with the miner back in its proper orientation, what we want to do is we're going to just go back and tighten all these fans. Alright, so I got all the fans installed and I got the wires tucked and ran pretty decently. Let me show you guys how I ended up doing it. I basically just took the wire, wrapped it, and then fed it down the frame channel, and then went to the next one, did the same thing, next one, and just all the way down until I got to the end, and then I stacked the Molex connectors, wrapped it all up, and you shouldn't be able to see that at all once I get everything installed. And then that's the view from underside. This is the power cable that supplies the power to the Molex. And so let's see if this puppy will turn on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, so I got my Rosewheel Hercules 1600 watt in today. And we're about to open this puppy. But before we do that, I'm going to make sure that the power's off to the current PSU. Alright. Do a little bit of cable management too. Alright, let's crack this puppy open. This is insane. I've never had a power supply this big or this heavy. Wow, they really like their presentation. It's pretty cool. I'm assuming that's all the cables. Alright. Oh, that is just gorgeous right there. Just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, these are gorgeous. Big, fat power supply, cable. Alright, got some screws. Alright, let's go ahead and slide it in. That's a big boy right there, son. Wow. And we'll go ahead and put the thumb screws in. The thrum. Now I'm wanting to keep this as clean as I possibly can. I know it's tough when you're dealing with these kind of wires, but I am making an effort to stay somewhat organized with this. Alright, so I've got this power supply splitter here, and basically what it is it's a plug to a second plug that only reads the turn on impulse. And so I'm going to relegate that to my 850 because that's going to be my supplemental. And I will plug the main PSU into there. And now we have the sauce. Alright, so the first video card came in today. Got 5 more on the way. They are the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, the gaming OC version. They were the only ones I could snag, so those are the ones I got. They're not the ideal cards for mining, but they'll work. Now what I'm going to try to do here is keep everything as close to original as I can so that I can resell these once I'm done with them. There she is. What a beautiful card. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by removing the Pcie cover to expose the connector. And we're just going to take one of these risers that we got. Okay, like so. Okay. Alright, next what we're going to do is we're going to take our actual 1X slot PCI Express and go ahead and find a home on the motherboard for it. And then I'm going to route this little wire right up through there and plug her in. And I'm going to run this SATA power. Alright, so the rest of my cards finally came in. So let's break these puppies open and put them to work. Oh my God. Look at that gloriousness. That glory eye. Hell yeah. Alright. Alright, well here's the setup with everything installed. Hopefully correctly. I have not tested this yet. So this could go either one of two ways. Really, really good or really, really expensive. Double check all the connections. Got power data. Power data. Power data. Power data. Power data. Power data. Alright, well, here goes nothing. Got power to all cards. We're currently drawing 240 watts during boot phase.
Okay, so when I first booted up, the cards would not show up. I was getting 2 here, 3 here. With every reboot, it seemed like a different number of cards was showing up. So the trick that I found, and especially with the splitter, is to plug in one, boot to Windows, shut down. Plug in another, boot to Windows, shut down. Do that 6 times, and they should all load in one at a time. And then on the last boot, you should see all 6 there, and from there on, as long as you don't change the ports, they should show up just fine.
Alright guys, so I hope you can hear me over the crazy fans in here. But here is the setup in its temporary home. Currently, as you can see, I'm mining with nice hash, and we're getting 437 mega hash off of Lyra 2. So not terrible. Running at a decent temp. The highest card that I saw was running at 72. But yeah, this is what I ended up with. Not the cleanest setup, but you know, it works. Alright, thanks for watching guys. If you have any questions or suggestions or any comments, just leave me a comment. I usually try to respond to every comment that I get, so go ahead and leave that comment. If you like this video, if it was helpful, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. Dirty out.